And then, Nnamdi's hand moved before his brain could stop it. The slap echoed across the street. Obinna's head snapped to the side, but he didn't cry. Slowly, he turned back to face Nnamdi. A red handprint was forming on his cheek, but his expression hadn't changed. He looked at Nnamdi, the way you would look at an insect, with mild curiosity and no fear at all. "You will regret this," Obinna said quietly. His voice sounded wrong, like an adult's voice coming from a child's mouth. "You will beg me to forgive you." Then he walked back into his parents' compound, leaving Nnamdi standing there with neighbors watching from their windows. By evening, Nnamdi's right hand, the one he had used to slap Obinna, started to itch. He scratched it absent-mindedly while watching television, but the itching got Nnamdi was not a patient man. Everyone on Okoro Street knew this. If your goat ate his flowers, he would beat the goat and insult you. If children played football near his gate, he would burst their ball with a nail. His wife, Ngozi, had learned to keep quiet and apologize to neighbors on his behalf. But Nnamdi wasn't always angry for nothing. He worked hard as a clearing agent at the port, and his new Toyota Camry was his pride. He washed it every Saturday morning himself, even though he could afford to pay someone. That car represented 15 years of saving and suffering. Their neighbors, the Okafor family, had moved in 6 months ago. They kept to themselves. The husband was a quiet man who left early and returned late. The wife was the same. She would greet you, but her smile never reached her eyes. And their son, Obinna, was the strangest child Nnamdi had ever seen. Obinna looked about 7 years old, but he never played with other children. He would sit outside their house for hours, just staring at nothing. Sometimes, Nnamdi would see him standing in their compound at midnight, perfectly still, like a statue. When you greeted him, he would look at you with eyes that seemed too old for his face and say nothing. "That child is not normal," Nnamdi told Ngozi one evening. "I'm telling you, there's something wrong with him." "Leave people's children alone," Ngozi replied. "Not every quiet child is evil. Maybe he's just shy." But Nnamdi's suspicion grew stronger when he noticed that birds never flew near the Okafor's house. Even stray dogs would walk past their gate quickly, as if something was chasing them. Then came that Saturday morning. Nnamdi was washing his car, humming to himself, when he heard a loud crack. He turned around and saw Obinna standing beside his car, holding a stone. The side mirror was shattered completely. Something exploded inside Nnamdi's chest. All the frustration from work, from life, from everything. It all came out at once. "You this stupid boy," he shouted, marching toward Obinna. "Do you know how much that mirror costs?" Obinna just stood there, staring at him with those unsettling eyes. He didn't run. He didn't apologize. He didn't even blink. "I'm talking to you." Nnamdi grabbed the boy's shoulder and shook him. Still nothing. That blank stare. That infuriating silence. And then, Nnamdi's hand moved before his brain could stop it. The slap echoed across the street. Obinna's head snapped to the side, but he didn't cry. Slowly, he turned back to face Nnamdi. A red handprint was forming on his cheek, but his expression hadn't changed. He looked at Nnamdi, the way you would look at an insect, with mild curiosity and no fear at all. "You will regret this," Obinna said quietly. His voice sounded wrong, like an adult's voice coming from a child's mouth. "You will beg me to forgive you." Then he walked back into his parents' compound, leaving Nnamdi standing there with neighbors watching from their windows. By evening, Nnamdi's right hand, the one he had used to slap Obinna, started to itch. He scratched it absent-mindedly while watching television, but the itching got worse. By bedtime, his palm was red and swollen. "It's just an insect bite," Ngozi said, applying ointment. "It will be fine by morning." It was not fine by morning. Nnamdi woke up screaming. His entire right hand had swollen to twice its normal size. The skin was stretched tight and had turned a dark purple color. The pain was unlike anything he had ever felt, like his hand was being slowly crushed in a vice. They rushed to the hospital. The doctor examined him, took blood tests, and frowned. "I don't understand. the doctor said, looking at the results. There's no infection, no allergic reaction, nothing. But the swelling is getting worse. They went to 3 different hospitals. Every doctor said the same thing. Medically, nothing was wrong, but Namdi's hand kept swelling. By the 3rd day, he couldn't move his fingers. The pain had spread up his arm to his shoulder, and the smell. His hand had started to smell like something was rotting inside it. "We need to see a pastor," Ngozi said, crying. "This is not ordinary." They visited their church. The pastor prayed for hours, anointed Namdi's hand with oil and declared him healed. But by the time they got home, the swelling had reached Namdi's chest. He could barely breathe. That night, as Namdi lay in bed, sweating and groaning, they heard a knock on their door. It was past midnight. Ngozi opened the door to find Mr. Okafor standing there. The man looked tired and sad. "I heard about your husband's hand," he said quietly. "I think I can help." They let him in. Mr. Okafor looked at Namdi's grotesque swollen hand and sighed deeply. "My son is not like other children," he began. "We've tried to keep it secret, to live quietly, but..." He paused. "Your husband touched him in anger. He struck him. Do you understand what I'm saying?" "What are you talking about?" Ngozi asked, her voice shaking. "My son is Obanje," Mr. Okafor said. "A spirit child. He has died and come back 7 times. This is his 8th time with us. We love him, but we know what he is." Namdi tried to laugh, but it came out as a painful wheeze. "You're telling me your son cursed me?" "He doesn't curse," Mr. Okafor said. "He simply returns what is given to him. You struck him with anger, so your hand carries that anger now. It will kill you unless he forgives you." "Then tell him to forgive me," Namdi shouted, then gasped as pain shot through his chest. "He won't. Not unless you ask him properly." Mr. Okafor looked uncomfortable. "There is a way, but you won't like it." "I'll do anything," Namdi whispered. Mr. Okafor took a deep breath. "You must come to our house at midnight. You must kneel before him. And you must..." He paused. "You must let him slap you back. Same hand, same force. Only then will the balance be restored." "That's all?" Ngozi asked hopefully. "No." Mr. Okafor looked at the floor. "While you kneel, you must call him father and beg him like a child begs a parent. You must mean it. He will know if you don't." The room went silent. "You want me," Namdi said slowly, "to kneel before a 7-year-old child, call him my father and let him slap me. It's the only way. Pride is a powerful thing." Even as Namdi's hand continued to swell, even as the rotting smell filled the room, even as he felt his life slipping away, his pride screamed at him, "Don't do it. You're a man. You're the adult. This is madness." But by the 5th day, Namdi couldn't stand anymore. The swelling had spread to his neck. His breathing was shallow. Ngozi was planning his funeral in her mind. "I'll do it," he whispered. That midnight, Ngozi helped Namdi walk to the Okafor's house. Every step was agony. His entire right side was now purple and swollen. Mr. Okafor opened the door and led them to the sitting room. Obinna was sitting on a chair, waiting. He looked exactly the same, that unsettling calm, those 2 old eyes. "Kneel," Mr. Okafor said softly. Namdi's knees hit the floor. The pain almost made him faint. "Beg him." Namdi opened his mouth. His pride made one last stand, trying to keep the words inside. But then he looked at his hand, black now, smelling like death, and the words came out. "Father," he said, and the word tasted like poison in his mouth. "Father, please forgive me. I was wrong. I was stupid. I didn't know who you were. Please, I'm begging you like a son begs his father. Please forgive me." Tears ran down his face. Whether from pain or shame, he didn't know. Obinna stood up and walked toward him slowly. He raised his small hand. The slap, when it came, wasn't hard. It was gentle, almost loving. But Namdi felt something break inside him. Not physically, but something deeper. Immediately, the swelling began to go down. The purple color faded. The smell disappeared. Within minutes, his hand was normal again. Namdi sat on the floor, crying like a baby. "Go home," Obinna said in that adult voice. "And remember this, not everyone who looks weak is weak. Not every battle is yours to fight." Nnamdi and Ngozi went home in silence. The next morning, the Okafor family was gone. The house was empty, as if they had never lived there at all. Neighbors said they had moved during the night, but no one saw them leave. No one heard a car. They simply vanished. Nnamdi never told anyone what happened in that house. But his right hand, the one that had slapped Obinna, never felt quite the same again. Sometimes late at night he would look at it and remember those words, "Not every battle is yours to fight." And he learned to walk away from things he didn't understand. Because some lessons are only learned through humiliation, and some children are not children at all. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. This is your home for fairy tales, African short stories, moral stories, African mythology, and African traditional religion stories. See you in the next tale.